Hello, it's Lucas Catton here, and I wanted to share with you the vision that we have for centered recovery programs. And in many ways, for myself and my partners, the things that we've done in life and the experiences that we've had have led up to this moment right now and what we're on the verge of. And especially over the last couple of years, taking something from a concept where we feel that we knew that we could help transform people's lives in a recovery setting that has reaches far beyond whether or not they're using something to try and feel better or self-medicate or whatever the reasons are that people are abusing substances, and get them back to a point where they're healthy to their innate health. And taking that from a concept form and putting it into reality. And we've done that now. You know, we already have a couple locations open here in the Atlanta area and growing from there. And what I want to do is kind of bring to you and share with you what it is that we're unveiling, what it is that we're rolling out and continuing to grow toward, and why. And the short answer is that centered recovery is going to be the nationally recognized leader in alternative to 12 steps. And there's a misconception that some people have in that we're somehow against 12 steps or AA model, anything like that. And that can't actually be further from the truth. We're not against or anti any other form of treatment because they're all wonderful and are helping lots of people. But at the same time, there's a segment of the population, and in some places a growing segment of the population, that are looking for alternatives, and they're looking for some uniform alternatives at that, something that's familiar, something that's recognizable. And what we're doing is taking a community-based model on an outpatient setting that people can engage with over a longer period of time, not just maybe 30 days, but possibly if they have to stabilize first and then come to us, that we can walk with them through their recovery journey to a much longer term stabilized period where they no longer consider themselves or have to consider themselves as any particular label. Just because they may have a diagnosis or have had a diagnosis doesn't mean that they must carry that forward. People can and do recover, many of them permanently. And for some people, maybe not. Maybe they need more, and that's okay. This particular program isn't for everyone, but what we keep on seeing is that there are people looking for these alternative solutions. And as we come in play with what's happening, and as people are coming in and finding out that we're not just some foo-foo, woo-woo program, yes, we incorporate meditation, but there's an amazing amount of scientific evidence showing the efficacy of meditation from a mental and physical health level, let alone the spiritual implications of it. But meditation is such a tiny part of the process of what we do, incorporating the educational component, and the core of what our program is this unique curriculum that brings in concepts that are teachable to people, that they can incorporate in their lives, that helps them to not be attached to their thinking, as one thing that it does, and show that they themselves can become more present, they can become more aware, and have a greater understanding of themselves and of others and of the world around them. And as they progress through this and they start to really imbue this new way of being for themselves, that the substances themselves become such a secondary issue. And for most people, that really is the secondary issue. It's being comfortable, happy, confident in life, you know. And so this curriculum that is a part of centered recovery has so many different applications that we're able to then take it from the outpatient treatment setting, and can use it in a residential setting if we want to. Can be used in a more traditional mental health and substance abuse dual diagnosis model, where people can treat primary disorders for eating disorders or anxiety or depression or something else that can fit into that. That doesn't have to be just for substance abuse. And it can be done so really by anyone, anywhere. And we've taken this and made it to where somebody who recognizes the need for a program like this in their community, they can do this. We have a way that they can bring this into their program, whether it's an existing program or they want to start a new one locally, that there's a way that this can be done now. And people are in the process of doing that in other areas as we speak. And it's not just about the treatment though. We also have centered recovery meetings where people are looking for that support ongoing, whether they currently have an issue or not. Maybe they want to continue to go to meetings. Maybe they're in treatment and like the extra support on the weekends or the nights, that they're not going once a week or more, to have that camaraderie that a peer support meeting provides. But they're looking for a different format in which to do that, and how they address the different topics and what things they put effort into, and beyond that, there's center recovery coaching and people that are able to go beyond a recovery meeting support and give one-on-one help to someone. And the overall vision for what is happening is that somebody knows, hey, I want to find an alternative program, but I want something that is scientifically backed, that has evidence-based practices as well, right? That is has a full clinical component in addition to the educational stuff, that has the ability to fit into a completely drug-free model or a completely MAT model, right? There's no distinction between the two, because the additional therapies and methodologies that people need to recover are vast and varied and are all applicable to someone. And this particular method, this recovery program, centered recovery programs, doesn't dictate what setting it needs to go into, because it itself is a standalone thing. So I'm tremendously excited, because I see that when people see what it is that we're doing and they really understand it for themselves and the fit for it, and you go on and, for example, read some of the reviews on Google and Better Business Bureau and other places like that, right? Facebook, that these are very real testimonials of people who have experienced it. We don't hire any kind of reputation management company, to generate false testimonials, because I've seen that plenty of times, and sometimes they're pretty easy to spot. But these are very personal, transformational pieces that they're sharing of themselves and going forward. And there are so many other fantastic programs out there that can do this for people as well. And it's not to take away from any of them. It's not to say that our method is better. It's not to say that someone else's method is better. It's to say that there is something now available that can fit this missing gap in most places around the country of having a uniform alternative to 12 steps that people can go to. Yes, there's refuge recovery meetings. Yes, there's smart recovery. Those are wonderful things. And we encourage those as well. But to have the treatment component and the coaching component on top of that to go with it, with the meetings and with the understanding, and to bring in meditation as a strong component from a mindfulness perspective, and the broader definition of what mindfulness really is. Some people, try and dumb that down, or try and make it singular, in a particular silo of just meditation or just this or just that. And that's not the case. There's such a wider definition of that. And I could literally go on and on and on forever in terms of the benefits of what it is that we're doing, and that it's an evolutionary process. It's not a set in stone, we think this is the best thing ever kind of thing, and that's it. We continue to incorporate new information, new research, new studies, and incorporating our own outcome studies as well, and partnering with outcomes monitoring solutions and long-term peer support and putting in our own outcomes tools as required by, by any sensible program out there as well. So I invite you to check us out. I invite you to, to find out more for yourself. If you happen to want this program in your area or want to be involved in somehow or some way, please reach out. We can schedule a time to talk. We can schedule a tour if you're in the Atlanta area or happen to come visit. I could come out and see you. Schedule a video call, whatever it is. If you want to run a meeting or be involved in one, if you'd like to learn about becoming a center recovery coach and having an additional way or method to help people, if you want to, if you have a current program and you're looking for a new model or a new methodology to incorporate into your existing treatment setting, we can talk about that and really fit that need of people looking for these other options. I know I get redundant sometimes, and I apologize about that. This is obviously completely off the cuff. I'm a bit motivated this morning, despite my once again lack of sleep, and I look forward to meeting you. I have a feeling that many people are taking the time to watch this video. If you're not overly critical because you feel that there's not room for this in the treatment setting somehow, and those of you that do, that's fine, that's wonderful. There's a place for everything. But for people who are genuinely interested, please, send a note, reach out, give us a call, schedule a meeting, schedule a tour. There's big things happening. We're moving out of the Atlanta market in terms of just by itself, and we're going to grow within Georgia, and we're going to expand out, hopefully into every state. I see at least 100 centered recovery programs throughout the country in the next few years, and the recognition of a time for change is what's driving that, and the real results of people who are engaged in our program is what's proving that it's not just a concept, but very much a reality. Thank you.